We're here at the Mustang Museum of America. This was a 15-year project by the Powell family to put together a true Mustang museum. There's Gary. Opened in March of 2019. We've got on your right Bob, on the left is Jonathan, and here's Gary joining us. This is the Powell family. This is who was responsible for bringing you the Mustang Museum of America. True nonprofit. Please come by and visit, and we'll entertain you with some videos of some cars as we go along, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Paul Becker. I'm here today at the Mustang Museum of America. I own a restoration shop, but I've been honored to serve on the board of directors for this museum. This has been a 15-year program that the Powell family has put together to build a Mustang museum dedicated to the Mustang, showing the entire history of the Mustang. This is a nonprofit. It is the largest Mustang-specific museum in existence in the United States, or for anywhere else for that matter. We're here today to look at a specific 79 Mustang. So as we walk along here, you'll see we have everything in chronological order, showing 1964 and a half as you enter, all the way up to current year. And we also have the world's largest and most complete collection of police Mustangs, the SSPs. So this specific 79 Mustang we're looking at was built and sent to Ford Styling Department in 1978 to be shown at the Chicago, Detroit, and New York auto shows. So it has a lot of unique one-off clues. It is a true one-of-one car. It was recently donated to the museum, being a nonprofit. We are open to donations. You can also put your car on display on loan. Most of the vehicle here belong to the Powell family or the museum. You can see here we start off, we're going through the 60s, we get into the 70s. We have Mustang 2s. And on the other side of me here, we come back down this aisle in order. This is the 1979 Mustang Cabriolet. This car was modified for the auto show specifically. There's a lot of unique features on it. They added these, what they called oscillating windshield headlight washers. Investigating this, they are not functional. They're just screwed to the bumper. Of course, this was a show car, so their focus wasn't on actually making it work. It was just to show what could be done. The car was equipped with TRX wheels, and they put this simulated convertible top on, calling it a Cabriolet. You'll notice the windshield posts are unique. These were handmade. This used to be chrome. It has faded over the years, but they didn't want to show, since all of this was chrome, they didn't want the black of the cowl panel to show. So this part was chrome, this was painted body to match. The styling department also did custom painted pinstriping. As we get to the car, the interior was designed to be more luxurious. Speculation was that they were headed for the European market possibly, but the door panels, the seats, everything is leather. The dash pad has French seams and is leather wrapped. The steering wheel is blue leather wrapped. The console is even leather wrapped. If you look at the headliner is leather. So lots of unique. The rear panels, interior panels are covered. The rear package tray is covered in perforated leather. So a lot of unique things were put in this car to make it one-off. The dash has been done with a brushed aluminum. These are all handmade panels. The side panels on the doors, you can see the aluminum there. Those are aluminum pieces with inserts. This car was equipped with power locks with manual windows. It is a 2.8 liter V6, so they weren't worried about what was in under the hood. This was a show car. So as we get to one of the most unique features of this car is in the rear of it. This car has specially modified taillights that are, so they look like the 79 taillights, but they're wider. I'll show you here. Here's an original 79 taillight. You can see they cut and sectioned and widened this taillight. So there's a seam here where they added it in. These two look a little darker because this black panel's behind it. but they did put a bulb in on this side. So that is a true one-off unique modification they did to this car. We get to the trunk. The carpet inside the car, the carpet in the trunk is a very plush carpet that you would find in a Lincoln. Here's the pictures from the auto show. Documentation from Ford that shows that it was used in the auto show. We found this in the trunk, wrapped up in original plastic. We have no idea what the CB means, so if you happen to know what CB might mean, let us know. But this was designed to go on the antenna, and there's a little recess there for the ball, so as it sits on the antenna, it's to tell somebody that you need help. Like I said, again, we don't know what the CB means, but this was wrapped up. We unwrapped it for the first time. You can tell by the age of the plastic this had been there in a very long time. It was tucked underneath the carpeting. So the trunk lid, part of the convertible top, you can see it wrapped down in here. It has a trim piece riveted to the back of the trunk lid. This being a 79, many of you know this car, the trunk lid on the 79 coupes do not have that lip. So this is also unique to the 79. The car also received undercoating. A lot of cars you'll see this, there are little tabs here where they drilled holes in it. This car was originally, at Ford you could buy these cars. So there was a secretary that wanted this car. The cost to upfit this car for the shows was $24,500 approximately. So that was quite an expense for a car that cost a quarter of that. So very unique car, lots of differences, very unique in a lot of one-off aspects. There are little weather strips that are put here that you don't see on regular cars. We tried to figure out how this was attached. It's possible it's glued on, but there was no thought given to possibly replacing a windshield, because here it'd be kind of hard to get that molding to get it back on there. So luckily we don't have to replace the windshield. The car has 45,000 miles on it. It has been pretty well preserved. The paint does show some age, but overall, let me open the hood. Nothing real special under the hood, but it is your run-of-the-mill, not often found 2.8 liter V6. Onion head strut mounts found earlier in the cars. These later went into the SVO Mustang. There's less deflection in these. Giant fan shroud, everything to make this, it wasn't a real powerhouse, but this was one of the run-of-the-mill engines that you could get on the lower cost cars. So we've got a buck tag here. These are on many of the cars that show a lot to it, but they won't show any of the modifications made by the styling department because that was done after production. We are missing the underhood pad. There is evidence it was there. But overall, the car is really well preserved, rust-free. It has been well taken care of. Tires are the original Michelin tires. They're not original to the car, we believe, because of the amount of tread on them at 45,000 miles, but they do appear to have been changed early on. And this car has pretty much been a show car and preserved ever since. It does have some wear here and there, but the interior, dark blue, not often found. The top is blue. Pinstripes, I said, were painted on. This side stripe here was added by the styling department as well. They just filled it with solid silver. Most of these, as most of you know, will be a dual pinstripe, but they covered that. These rocker moldings came standard on a lot of cars. You'll notice those are the same as the Mustang SVO, which they modified at the back. Same rocker molding, just stamped a little differently. So it's, if any of you have ever seen this before, let us know, but it's out of Minnesota. It was recently donated, and it will be housed here at the collection. 118 cars on display here. This is quite a day's worth of looking around that you can do. Lots of you normally see, you would expect to see 69 Mach 1s with a 428. Here you will see a lot of cars that are very unique that most people have never seen. We have a 1986 King Cobra, which isn't what you think it is. It was done by Anheuser-Busch. We have Mustang SVOs, we have pace car, we have every pace car on example here. 82 GT, a lot of other cars. We have a real Eleanor recreation from the original movie. We have a selection of Mustang 2s. There's something here for everybody. So if you're in the area or want to make a plan, we would love to have you stop by. The museum is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But if you let us know ahead of time, or even call when you get here, usually somebody's 10 minutes down the road. Anytime during the week, you can come in. But the general days are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you have any input or comments or anything, we're going to start doing features like this on all of our cars. And we will not do them in any specific order. We'll probably jump around a little bit, but subscribe to the channel and follow along. Thank you. All right, we're going to look a little closer at the taillight modification on this 79 Mustang that was changed by the styling department. You may be curious as to how they did this. This is an original taillight. So they came in on the original taillight here and cut it. And then cut another taillight, a donor taillight, and added this section. So you'll see it's dark right here because they never did anything with the black back here. If they painted it silver, you wouldn't see that, but it's black, so that black shows through as opposed to the silver backing on here. They did put a bulb in for the backup light, so that does work. But they just attached it here with some butyl tape, window weld, or some glue, and they just stuck it on there. So that continued the taillight. You can see how far they went here. And they also painted underneath the taillight all the way across black, and did it black in here, so that they're doing a whole treatment where everything's blacked out. But that really gave it a unique look that you might not pick up on right off the bat. So surprised we haven't seen this over the years, because we've seen people modify the old Capri taillights where they were finned to put a plug over the taillight. That for shows, I've seen that a couple of times, but I've never seen somebody do this before. So that's how they modified the taillights. All right, we're going to look a little closer at the taillight modification on this 79 Mustang that was changed by the styling department. You may be curious as to how they did this. This is an original taillight. So they came in on the original taillight here and cut it. And then cut another taillight, a donor taillight, and added this section. So you'll see it's dark right here because they never did anything with the black back here. If they painted it silver, you wouldn't see that, but it's black, so that black shows through as opposed to the silver backing on here. They did put a bulb in for the backup light, so that does work. But they just attached it here with some butyl tape, window weld, or some glue, and they just stuck it on there. So that continued the taillight. You can see how far they went here. And they also painted underneath the taillight all the way across black, and did it black in here, so that they're doing a whole treatment where everything's blacked out. But that really gave it a unique look that you might not pick up on right off the bat. So surprised we haven't seen this over the years, because we've seen people modify the old Capri taillights where they were finned to put a plug over the taillight. That for shows, I've seen that a couple of times, but I've never seen somebody do this before. So that's how they modified the taillights.